and talking about online education, not just MOOCs or large-scale or free or pay-per-course kind of models, but online education more generally, because one of the problems with sort of the popular press notion of online education is it's gotten merged with MOOCs, so that when people now, when I say I'm Vice Provost for Online Education, they assume I'm talking about teaching to 10,000 people. And of course, you could do online education one-on-one. I have a friend who's taking tabla lessons by Skype with an Indian tabla master in Delhi. And that's online education, and it's one-to-one. It's nothing mass about that at all. So at GW, we have a comprehensive strategy that includes all of that. So we have 3 large-scale free courses that are built on the Open edX platform. We have one on the past, present, and future of the Federal Reserve. We have one that's on how businesses need to navigate politics and activists in order to pursue their own business agendas. And we have one that's for computer scientists on using the Python code to solve mathematical equations. So we pick, and we've got a couple of more that will be coming up in the future, and we particularly picked courses where we thought we can either do it in a particular innovative way, or they are the type of courses that really the George Washington University has a particular claim to creating something that is unique, difficult for any other university to have created, and so forth. So for example, the Federal Reserve one, we're a block from the Federal Reserve. We've got Federal Reserve policymakers that are constantly on our campus. We have the relationships, and so we've created this course. And one of the fun things about it is to think about what you can do with an online course that you can't do in just an on-campus seminar. So for instance, that course has multiple, doesn't have one professor and a whiteboard. It has multiple professors, and our head of the School of Media and Public Affairs, Frank Sesno, who's a former CNN anchor, sort of interviews people and generates debate and so forth among those professors who helped create the course. But the professors are from political science, they're from business, they're from law, they're from history. And so it becomes an interdisciplinary course in and of itself. So that's kind of fun to do. But it's only the tip of the iceberg of what we're trying to do at GW, because we have between 70 and 80 fully online degree programs that are not mass. They generally are done in small scale, probably 15 to 1 student-faculty ratio generally. And they range from, you can get a master's in public health, you can get an MBA, you can get a cybersecurity degree, you can get degrees from our education school, from our engineering school. We have one on the law and business of government contracting. It sort of runs the gamut across the university, and more are on their way. We're launching a master's in public administration within the next year, and so forth. And these are programs where we are trying to build unique experiences, not mimic what you do on campus, but actually think about what can you do online that you can't do on campus. I'm not actually one of those people who thinks that online education is going to be the death of campus-based education. I think there will always be the need for universities. But I do think that it's important for every university to think about what is it that we do on campus that actually is distinctive and that is worth doing on campus as opposed to online. And then how can online connect with that? So all of our online programs have on-campus experiences connected to them, either intensives or other kinds of experiences that we build into them, because obviously our DC location is of interest to a lot of people, and we have access to policymakers and so forth. And in addition to that, even for our on-campus students, one of the reasons that our on-campus students come to GW is because they'll access DC, and they'll get jobs, and they'll have internships, and they'll be connected to Capitol Hill or administrative agencies or whatever it is that they might want to do in DC. And if you are that student, even if you want to be in DC, and even if you want the on-campus experience, you don't necessarily want to leave your externship on Capitol Hill at 3 o'clock on a Wednesday to go see a lecture or to be in the classroom. And so even our on-campus students, I think increasingly are going to want online experiences as part of what they are doing on campus. And so we see the online and the on-campus educational experience and the pedagogy sort of merging and building off of each other. And every one of our professors who's taught online has said that teaching online and thinking about the pedagogy of online has actually helped their on-campus teaching and their on-campus courses. And so the big distinctions, I think, between the two are going to slowly disappear over time. Now, if you're going to build 70 online programs, as well as a bunch of MOOCs and so forth, you have to think about how you're going to do it. If you're a university, you could go out and hire an outside company to create all of your online courses and so forth. And a lot of universities did that, particularly in the early years of getting into online, primarily because they didn't have the resources. And they thought, oh, well, we want to create an online course. We don't have any money. We don't have any production crew. We don't have anything. So let's go out and hire someone to do that. And that's fine, perhaps, in the early stages. But I think for a school like GW, which is now, I think, in a kind of more mature stage of dealing with online education, what we do is build it ourselves. And so we have created what we call an e-design shop within GW. It's under my office. And it includes a team of instructional designers, video, computer animation, graphics, and pretty much anything else that we might need to build state-of-the-art, high-quality online courses, and to build it in-house, build that knowledge base in-house, work with our professors in-house, create a brand and a set of quality standards in-house, and so forth. And so that's been extremely important to me. And it's also helpful, I think, at getting faculty who might be skeptical about online to at least come in and play and to see what it is that we can do with them and do it without some external company that they don't know there. I think it helps with the faculty buy-in. And it also allows us to do things in a more hybrid way. We don't have to say, here's this online program which we are doing with X company, and here's our campus program. We can start to merge them, cross-fertilize them, and so forth. And so that's been a very important decision that GW made about a little over a year ago, and is now building more and more. And I think what you're seeing at GW is more and more online programs built in-house to try to expand our reach and to expand our ability to educate people around the world and around the country who either can't or don't want to come to DC for that period of time that would be necessary to get a degree. And, you know, we see, I suspect over time that some of our free courses will play in, you know, for students who take the free courses may want to take some of our tuition-based, degree-based online courses over time. We'll sort of see how that works. We see it, the MOOCs, as a service to the world in areas of distinctive strength of GW. We're thrilled to be on the Open edX platform, and that's something that we offer. And we simply offer it for free because we think that's part of our mission as an educational institution. We then, as I said, have a whole bunch of other programs that are much smaller scale, much more student-faculty interaction. And the last thing that I want to say, which is a little hard at this point to do on a mass scale, but I think is really important, is to keep the real-time synchronous interactivity in online education. And so one of the things we do with our degree-based programs, all the ones that we're building have both asynchronous and synchronous components. Takes a little bit away from some of the flexibility. You could do it at any time. If you have a synchronous session, obviously you have to all log in at the same time. But it allows us to have 12 students, 15 students, a faculty member in real-time seminar-like conversation. And we think that that's actually an important aspect of education. The MOOCs, it's hard to do it on a mass scale. Maybe over time we will figure out more algorithmic ways of doing that kind of personalized interactivity. That would be really exciting. I know lots of people are working on it. We're sort of not there yet. But I think that's only a matter of time to some degree. I often tell people I started teaching legal issues surrounding the internet in 1997-98. And online education feels a little bit to me like the internet did in 1997-98, which is lots of smart people are working on it. There's a lot of buzz about it. There's corporate activity. There's venture capitalists that are kind of swirling around. And nobody really knows which model is going to work and how it's going to play out. And Google hasn't been invented yet. But as I tell people, just because Alta Vista was a lousy search engine doesn't mean the internet was a bad idea. It just means we're still working on it. So whatever anybody doesn't like about online education right now, I tell them just wait, because it's all getting better. The technology is getting better, the pedagogy is getting better, the philosophy underlying it, the experimentation is getting more interesting. People are getting away from the lecture format. People are getting away from traditional notions of classrooms. And thinking about all the things that you can do online that you can't do in a traditional classroom. And that's where it's really fun. And that's where I think the creativity and the excitement of online is. And at GW, we're trying to harness that to become the highest quality purveyor of online education within a traditional educational environment, within a university environment that exists in the country. And that's our mission and our goal, and I'm pleased to be here to chat with you about it. And if you have thoughts about what we should be doing going forward and how we should pursue that mission and become even more innovative, I'm really excited to chat with people afterwards.
The courses are open for enrollment.
The courses are open for enrollment, so all three of the MOOCs I just mentioned, you can enroll at mooc.online.gwu.edu. And the Federal Reserve course launches on Monday. The other courses are available already. And it would be interesting, I think, for all of this group to at least, even if you don't care about the subject matter, log on and see what we're doing. Because it's interesting pedagogy, whether you care or not about the particular topics. And I actually think everyone should know a little more about the Federal Reserve than we do. So we should at least do that one.